What's up guys, today in Anime Champion Simulator, I'm going to be showing you guys how to AFK XP for multiple champions at a time. Yes, you heard that right, multiple champions at a time. So you might be asking yourself, how is that even possible?
I thought I could only fuse into one champion at a time.
While normally you'd be correct, this is using an advanced macro system that changes the champion that is being fused into about every minute or so. Before we begin, this method is going to be requiring TinyTask, which is a macro system that records and replays your movements over and over. It is completely safe to use, and I have left a link in the description below where you can download it for completely free. Now that we have that out of the way, let's go to the Cursed World or whatever orb you want to open. So now that we're at the orb that we're going to open, for this I will be using the Cursed Orb. You're going to want to open your TinyTask software like I have here, and then open your champion selection system. You're going to want to copy what I've done here, and I've named every single champion that I'm going to AFK with the name AFK with the numbering order so that the macro system doesn't get confused when we're recording our macro. Once that you've done that, go into your TinyTask and select preferences and set it to continuous playback always on top with the recording hotkey set to F8 and your playback hotkey to Control Shift so that you don't get a hotkey error. Next, close out of your champions and then enter the configuration of the orb that you're trying to open. Then go into autofuse and select the first champion that you want to AFK, select it, close out these settings, and then start your recording. Now I'm going to start my recording and start opening until we get around to the 30-second mark in our macro. So now that we're at about 30 seconds, I'm going to click close direct in the middle so that I don't miss it on accident. Go into my config and then select the champion and then switch to the second one that we're going to AFK. Select them, close out the configurations, and click and start auto clicking again around the 1:15 mark. Now that I'm at the 1:15 mark, I'm going to close this one again and wait a second so that the orb can stop playing. Then I'm going to go back to my configuration and switch it to AFK 3, select it, and then close out the settings and start auto clicking again until we get around to the 2-minute mark. Now that we're at the 2-minute mark, I'm going to click close, and then I'm going to repeat the process again by going to my configuration and then switching to AFK 4, selecting it and then closing this and then starting my auto clicker again until I get to around 2:45. So now that I'm around the 2:45 mark, I'm going to click close and then go back into my configuration and switch this to AFK 5, select it, close it again, and then go back out of the settings and then auto click again to around the 3:30 range. So now that I'm at the 3:30 mark, I'm going to click close once again, go back into my configuration and go to AFK 6, select them, close, and again repeat the process until we get to around the 4-minute mark. Now that I'm at the 4-minute mark, I'm going to close it one more time, and then I'm going to go to my configuration and then click them again and then cycle back to AFK 1, select them, and then close out the software, and then I'm going to end my recording. Once I end my recording, I'm going to go back in my preferences and switch my recording hotkey to Control Shift and then my playback hotkey to F8. And that's it for the whole recording. So now what you're going to want to do is press your playback hotkey, which will be F8. And as you can see, it's going to repeat the whole process over and over. And this will cycle between your champions to get them all XP. And I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a time lapse to show you guys that it actually works. Alright, so as you guys saw, the method works completely fine. The only reason it's not going right now is because I stopped it by myself manually. But yeah, if you guys want to do that longer, you guys can. The only reason I had it set to 30 seconds was because I wanted to make the video kind of short. But you could set that to as many minutes as you want, which will make it better by default, because the longer time that you're opening, the less time that you're messing with your selections, the more XP your champions will be getting. But yeah, that's exactly how you're gonna AFK champion XP overnight. If you don't believe me, you can go check it out. And before this video ends, if you guys could like and subscribe, as it greatly helps the channel. And if you always want to, you can unsubscribe later. This is by far the best method I've ever seen for this. I haven't seen any other YouTuber upload on this topic on how to do this kind of thing. So yeah, that's gonna be it for the video. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.